Podyum Live, where we talk to different players from around the world about a little insight into playing American football and coaching American football on an international level. I'm your host, Vincent Purvis, a Texas boy, now representing American football in Finland. And today we're going to talk to the head coach of the Munich Cowboys in Germany, Garren Holley. Garren, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Vince, for having me.
Before we get a little bit further into the show, let's just kind of talk about who you are and how you got to this point of being the head coach for a team in Germany. First question I wanted to ask you was, how did you get into American football in Europe? How did you get to this stage?
I was pretty fortunate, actually. It was after I graduated college. I got hired as a grad assistant at Peru State College, in high school in Peru, Nebraska. And then the DC at the time was James Craig. And at the time, he was coaching year-round, so he was in Switzerland working with Cologne Broncos. So he was there for a few championships with them. And so he was doing the Cologne thing and then coming back to Nebraska. So I was a grad assistant working under him. And I impressed him during my time with him. And then a few years later, I was a grad assistant again at Minot State University in North Dakota, the Division II program. And then he calls me one November night and offers me a DC position out in Europe. I told him it'd be a great opportunity, and if I'm this guy, I would look to take that opportunity. So yeah, that's how I ended up out here in Munich. And then, I was able to DC here for a couple of years and have success. I went back to the States as an assistant coach at Presentation College, the AI program in Aberdeen, South Dakota. I had the opportunity to coach in Finland as well in 2015 with the Vasa Royals for a summer. And then I came back to Presentation College. And then this past fall, Munich reached out and offered me the head coaching job. And I said I'd be more than happy to take the opportunity.
All right, Coach. You have a lot of history with the Munich Cowboys, of course, and now you're the head coach. Go through a little bit how this last season went for you guys. I know it was a little bit disappointing from your overall goals, but just kind of tell us how the season went, how it started, how you got what changes or any adversity you guys went through this year, and what happened with the end of the season and how it went for you. I think we have technical difficulties. We're trying to work on it right now. Is it working yet? Can you hear me? I can see you moving.
Yo, 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 yo.
I think it's back on now. There you go. Can can you hear? I can hear you now. We're still working on the technical difficulties. You know, internet from different countries across the world is a little difficult. Trying to get this all fixed, but I'm not that much of a computer whiz yet, y'all. Like I'm watching, we're live, and I can only hear myself. I can't hear Coach Holley, and I don't think he can hear me either. And he's gone.
All right.
And he's back.
That was weird.
I don't know what it was, but
That was super weird.
Yeah. Well, we just roll with it here on the Podium Live. We just roll.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that you got.
I didn't get any like audio from it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So back to the jump. Yeah, I graduated college. I had the opportunity to be a GA at Peru State College, NAIA school in Nebraska. James Craig was the head coach at the time. Was coaching in Kalanda, coaching year round. I impressed him in the short time I was with him. 2 years later, I'm a GA at Minot State University in the Minot, North Dakota D2 program as a grad assistant working with the DBs. And then James reached out to me and offered me the DC position in Munich. I said it'd be a great opportunity, so I jumped on it. Had 2 successful years in Munich as a DC. Went back to the States. There was a DB coach at Presentation College in Aberdeen, South Dakota, in a program. Had some good years there. Spent 3 years there. Spent 1 summer in Vasa, Finland, with the Vasa Royals as the DC there. And then last fall, I was offered the head coaching job here in Munich, and I jumped all over it.
All right. Well, going from coaching the United States to different places in Europe and kind of going back and forth. Now we want to talk about this year. 2017 Munich Cowboys, you guys fell a little bit short of your goals. Kind of go through how the season went for you this year.
Yeah, obviously you look at wins and losses, it wasn't successful. When you take over a program, that had been losing, it's about changing the culture and bringing in that winning mentality, that mentality of accountability, that mentality of from a coach's standpoint, I'm going to give you all the tools to be successful. It's up to you as a player to buy in and utilize these tools, and just be that type of accountable, all-in type of player. So that was actually the number 1 goal this year, was to change the culture of the program. I took over late November last year, so that's actually pretty late to take over a team, because most teams are already rolling in their off season. They've had their kickoff meetings. They're way ahead of us in recruiting. So to build a team, from January to March, I think our staff and I did a really good job there of building a coaching staff, building a team in those couple months. And then just really, like I said, changing the culture, changing how we do things. So I think we did the right things we needed to do there. We built a competitive team. I don't think there's anyone in our league in the South that could say we weren't a competitive team. We were a team that is to execute. We turned the ball over a lot, and just a lot of miscues within that area. Obviously, we got to clean up some tackling stuff moving forward. But I think we had a successful season, not looking at wins and losses, because we did change the culture. We had great attendance at practice all year long. Guys were bought in. When you have a rough season like we had generally in Germany, guys tend to not show up to practice, and and things of that nature. You know, guys were finding excuses to not be around. Not something that we had to deal with. And so a player missed, I knew why they missed. You know, I knew in the advanced time. So a lot of those little things that are going to be important for us for the future, we got turned around year one. So very excited about that.
Speaking of the future, do you got feedback on your end? Can I hear myself?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. Speaking of the future, 2018 is coming around. What are you guys looking like now that you're getting ready for your offseason program? Are you kind of focusing on getting back healthy, working on technique type stuff? Like, what's the game plan for your offseason program?
Obviously, always trying to stay healthy and get back healthy is huge. We had a lot of our major injuries happen early in the season, so most of those guys were cleared, you know, towards the end of the year. But you know, I would never ask a player to come back sooner than they need to. I'm very big on making sure that they're doing their rehab properly, and they're strengthening up those areas where they were injured before they came back. And we actually do have a great medical group that works with us, so we're very fortunate for that. Yeah, and then we had a couple guys get hurt in that Frankfurt game towards the end of the year. The last couple games, a couple D-line guys, but they're getting back healthy as well. And yeah, so the focus has been take a month and a half of guys just kind of do their own thing, recharge the batteries, and then we have our kickoff meeting this Thursday, 2 weeks later, and then that next Thursday we actually start off-season program, a 4-week program. We'll get after it, conditioning, a little bit specific stuff. And then we'll roll in January, get ready to go by March. But off season is going really well for us. Recruiting-wise, a lot of things are just kind of falling into place for us. So we have some exciting announcements coming up regarding recruiting and finalizing some positions in our coaching staff as well. So off season is actually going really well for us. Really excited to get going with the guys again.
And of course, I'm just going to there. The Podyum, we hope to definitely be sharing some of that news that you guys have about some of your signings with your coaching staff and players that are going to be playing with you guys next year. If you're listening, you know, top of that stuff, making sure everyone knows that there are players playing international football everywhere in the world. And Munich, I've heard, is a beautiful city. Is that correct, Coach?
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. I call it my second home, and so that's why it was easy to make the decision to come back because I'd be comfortable living here for an extended time. So.
Tell us a little bit about living in Germany. Like, what's the lifestyle there? You're there year round, I'm assuming. So, kind of go through a little bit of like, what do you guys do out there for life outside of football?
Then obviously it's a big city, so there's always something going on. I think no matter what you're into in life, you can find it in Munich. Me myself, I'm a pretty reserved, chill country boy, so I don't need to do a lot to be entertained. Just relaxing for myself. But obviously being close to the house and is awesome. I do a lot of history, so obviously there's plenty of history in Munich. Regarding the kings of the past, regarding the war, things of that nature. So there's a lot to see, a lot to do. I think I get pretty good tours when people come out to Munich and they want to go look around the city. I've been through plenty myself early on, the first couple stops here. So, you can get into anything, man. You like the club, any type of music. The great concerts come through Munich. A lot of great festivals coming through Munich. Obviously, if you're here for Oktoberfest, that's probably the number one reason people make that trip that time of the year. It's a great time. Man, it's a big city. It's got a good suburban life as well. And like I said, it's close to nature. So anything you're into, you can find it.
Yeah, so one thing that's a big deal in Germany is it's the echelon of American football in Europe. Just from your experience as being an American, of course, coaching there and seeing all the different teams that you guys have. We spoke about this earlier. There's like 800 teams in Germany. What do you consider the major strength for how the sport has developed so well and has become kind of the standard for how American football should be in Europe?
I think it all just starts from, when it all got started, with there haven't been so many active military bases in Germany. That's where a good amount of those teams started sprouting up. It was based on the introduction through the Americans here that were from the military, and then obviously NFL Europe. That expansion of NFL Europe really changed things quite a bit because it professionalized a lot for the EU players that were talented, enough to play at a high level of football, but maybe didn't have a chance to go to the States. So it gave them a platform. And then once that all dismembered, everything kind of flushed down from NFL Europe, especially all the teams in Germany. It all kind of flushed down and out around those regions. So you saw teams starting to sprout up all over the place. So yeah, I mean, I think that was a huge help to it. Yeah, I just think the American influence was really popular. In Germany, I think they made a push nationally to be pretty good about when it came to getting American players, over here and bringing it to some type of professional level for us. It only brings up the level of the local players as well. So I will always say that you can bring over as many Americans as you want, but the base of our teams are German players. So the more we're able to build up the base of German players, the base of German coaches, those players go on to be coaches that only will help the league grow for the future and really start to legitimize the league. The league itself, it's already got pretty good legitimacy on a world level, but to continue to grow on that scale. And yeah, it's very important.
That's great. Stepping a little bit away from football in Germany for a second, but still staying on task.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me about what is there going on, or what went on when you were in school at this school, Missouri Valley College. Okay? Because from what I've been told, 2 weeks ago, we actually did a Podium Live. We had Michael Hall, who attended Missouri Valley College. Last week, we had Q Floyd, who also attended Missouri Valley College. Garren Holley, you also attended Missouri Valley College. And all three of you guys are thriving in Europe as coaches. Like, what is it about this school? Like, what about when you guys were there? Was there like something – were y'all brainwashed to become open-minded coaches and go to Europe and spread the sport? Like, what? How is that even possible? What happened, man?
I don't know. Missouri Valley is just one of those. It's one of those small colleges that's centered in the middle of Missouri. It's one of those towns where if there wasn't that college population, the town would be, even more rural than it was. It was just a school that I don't know. Even if you weren't best friends with guys, it was one of those football teams that where like the brotherhood was legitimate. You know what I mean? Like, if something was happening, you would have you would have your teammates back, like no matter what, hands down, any time, any day type of week type situation. Paul Troth is the head coach at Missouri Valley, and Monty Rowe is the assistant head coach DC. Both of them were there when I attended Missouri Valley, and it's just been they're great men. They do a great job of running that team. They're open up front with you about things, yeah, it's just been a program that's had a lot of success. And then yeah, I don't know what it was, man. It was my fourth year. I stopped playing. I needed to focus on school, and then I just took a semester off and I got my stuff together. So I could have came back and kept playing, but I decided to start coaching because I wanted to get out the next year. I didn't want to be there another 2 years. I wanted to get going with life. But the coaching staff, they opened me with open arms. They said, yeah, and you start student coaching. So I did that for a spring semester of 2009. And then I was just a student assistant all of 2010. And then from there, I had done a good enough job, and I told them, this is the career path I wanted to start, and they did everything they could to help me land both grad assistant positions that I've had in regards to football. So they've been very influential in the early years of my career. But it's a really good family atmosphere that like value role, that's what I'm saying. And it's just a lifetime thing. So there's definitely something with there. There's quite a few of us. Adam there was a longtime linebacker. with the Hilda Simon Invaders before they were GFL 1. I think we had a couple quarterbacks that were just seniors when like my freshman, sophomore year that came over here and played too. And obviously Tyler Davis, who's now with the BC Lions in the CFL. I brought him over in 2014. And he had a great year with us and went up to Kiel and dominated for a few years. And then he got his break in the NFL a little bit, and now he's up in the CFL. So, yeah, there's definitely something in the water there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. There must be something in that Missouri Valley water that gets you guys to jump across the other water to go to different countries and stuff. That's really awesome. I don't know if a lot of people knew about this. This is an interesting thing is why I definitely had to have you on today was to talk about this, is that you guys are kind of ambassadors for the sport from a small area, which is the dream of American football. When people watch movies from Europe or see feel-good stories for sports, it's always a small town where people rise to the occasion and do great things. And that's what you guys are doing. Like Garren Holley, you're a movie right now. You are living a movie. You came from a small college. You went to Europe, and you're doing great things over there in Munich. So getting back to Coach Garren Holley now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about you as a coach. You said you came to Munich and you had to kind of change the culture. What kind of things do you install, and kind of what's your philosophy when it comes to getting things done that makes it a little bit different for European players maybe learning the game, and also makes you successful everywhere you go, is that you've always created this type of I don't know how to say the word right now. I'm getting tongue-tied. But what do you do that makes you so good at what you do? How about that? I don't know if
I think I just take the approach that, I think where a lot of coaches mess up is they talk to their players like their players are like don't see through. Oh, I got Western language, but don't see through the smoke, right? Like you just can't BS players. Like you have to be honest. Like, and I think that's my thing is just being honest with them, being upfront, treating them like they're grown men. That's how they want to be treated. So I expect them to act accordingly. So accountability is massive for me. Players being accountable for their actions, understanding that their actions don't just affect them. It affects all of us. If you're saying you're committed to all of us, now everything you do is a representation of us. So you have to keep that in mind, when it's like you might not want to come to practice today. You can't just miss the miss. You hurt all of us. Not communicating. Communication is probably number 2. If you're not going to make it, I just need to know. And I need to know in a decent, reasonable amount of time, not 5 minutes before practice. Taking care of your body. And then just really the brotherhood aspect of it as well. So just trying to build on those 4 things and treating them like they're men, holding them accountable to what they do, and at the same time, I expect them to hold me accountable and the rest of our coaches accountable for what we're doing as well. So that's really my philosophy and my approach going into it is really accountability, discipline, communication, things of that nature.
All right, Coach. Last question for you. I won't take up your whole afternoon over there.
It's all good.
But this is always a difficult question too. I know you're getting ready for this upcoming season and you're hard into game planning and working on the offseason program there. But do you ever think about what you want your kind of legacy to be in this sport? Like I said, you're kind of an ambassador for the sport coming from a small college all the way to Europe. What are your kind of long-term goals? Like when it's all said and done, when people say Coach Holley, what do you want them to say?
I think whatever level I end up at once I coach myself into the grave, I think I just want to be remembered just as a good man, a good role model. Probably my number 1 goal in life is just to be a positive influence on the people I come across, no matter what situation it's in. I'm blessed to have the platform of American football to do that. I think that's for me. It's been the sport I played since I was 5 years old. I've moved around a lot, so it was always my avenue to get acclimated to where I landed. So for me, it's just about being a positive influence, a positive role model on anyone I come across. Treat people as I would want to be treated. You know, that old saying. I really believe in that. And to just be a good person. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I think if you seek to live a good life, and treat people as you want to be treated, and just try to be positive as you can through the negative, good things are going to work out for you. You know, you have to stick your nose to the grind and work hard, and understand there's a process to everything that you do, and you'll get rewarded in due time. But you have to put in your work. And that's really the message I try to bring to the people that I come across in life, and to every team, every player that I coach, because we all start at different phases of the things that we do. Some people are blessed to jump right into what they want to do right away. Some people have to work and grind and overcome the adversity to get to where they want to get. And I think that's the biggest thing that I try to get across to people is just be positive, understand bad things are going to happen, but you got to keep rolling with the punches there, and good things will come from it if you stick it out. That's really what I try to bring to my teams.
A great life lesson, Coach. Man, so far. I only expect greater things from you in the future. We appreciate you coming on Podyum Live today. If you guys are watching this and you enjoy the videos, make sure to go over to our Facebook page and give us a like, or even comment or rate us on there, anything you want to do. And remember, if you're interested in playing American football internationally or even locally in the United States for semi-pro, do come to the Podyum Recruit platform, and we can definitely connect you to different teams all around the world. We appreciate everybody watching the broadcast. Coach Holley, it's good to have you on. Good luck with you guys next year in Munich. Little spoiler alert, I'll be in Germany sometime next year. Check out some games, that's for sure. And we'll see you guys next week, actually. We'll be back on their Podyum Live next week.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime, Coach.